Good morning, everyone, and today we're going to be doing top to bottom analysis on GBPUSD starting from the monthly time frame. And as we usually do, we'll start by identifying our zones. GBPUSD starts from the monthly time frame. We'll start by identifying our zones. And as we discussed multiple times prior, our zones are essentially higher level support and resistance levels, or higher time frame support and resistance levels. So when you have a support level on the daily, weekly, or monthly time frame, those support and resistance levels, or better yet, support and resistance levels, are referred to collectively as zones. So we identify our zones and identify any trend lines we can draw. You can actually draw a trend line here, but you can see that this trend line has already been invalidated. But I kind of like drawing invalid trend lines for a bit, because trend lines act almost exactly the same as horizontal support and resistance level. Similarly, when a trend line is broken, the back of that trend line can be retested. Okay, I can see another trend line for the weekly time frame from here. Hold on, let me adjust it. We have another trend line here. This is our weekly trend line. We can also draw another one from here across like this. Although I'm not sure if there's much of a point in drawing this one out, but still, we can. This is our second weekly trend line. Okay, so next we'll identify our zones on the weekly time frame. You can see that price did this, making this to be a valid zone. Okay, so now let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. And when we go down to I said 1 hour daily. Let's go to the daily time frame, and on the daily time frame we do the exact same thing. We'll identify our zones, we'll identify our potential trend lines, which you can already see one here like this. We'll identify our zones, we'll identify our potential trend lines, and then we'll identify our trend origin. Okay, so we have a daily zone here. We have another daily zone around here. We have one here. Can even drag it back like this. So we have this zone here. Okay, are there any other daily zones? This zone here. Let's lift it a bit. Okay, so now we've identified our daily zones and our potential trend lines. So now we need to observe our trend origin. Okay, you can see price goes in positive correction. No, let's delete it first. Typically, I would want to, let's go more straight to the point, I suppose. Our trend origin is here. This is our trend origin. Let's make it red because I like to make my trend origin red. Then let's see the market structure. You can see an impulsive, correctional, impulsive, correctional, impulsive, correctional, impulsive, correctional, impulsive, correctional, followed by an impulsive, preceded by a correctional. So we'll be expecting a new impulsive. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that I like to see when I'm entering a trade, because I prefer for price to be in a correctional phase rather than an impulsive phase. We'll probably have to go down to the 1 hour time frame since this structure, although the structure is not invalid, it is considerably small for the daily time frame. So I've marked all these blue lines are my higher lows, which is the point where price switches from correctional move to an impulsive move. So let's delete this guy. We should also identify our higher highs, but since we're already setting that price is in a correctional move, let's focus on the higher lows. Okay, so now I'll zoom in, and then all the regions where I draw my blue line, I'll highlight them, because these are the regions where price switches from a correctional move to an impulsive move on the daily time frame. And since our current price action is in a correctional move, if there's any specific pattern that appears, if there's a common pattern, then I'll be able to use that common pattern as my entry, or as my indicator that price is switching back to a impulsive move. So using line charts here, I can see an M actually. I would want to call this a W, but this is an M here, and then price goes up. So I want to call it a W then an M, but let's just call it a W that contains two bearish engulfing candlestick patterns, because let's just consider it a W. This doesn't really fit for a W on here, honestly though. This fits more for a parallel channel. Hold on, we'll go down to there's no particular pattern here. It's a W here, and then here we'll use line chart. You can see a W sharp, but it's very messy. Yeah, let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. Currently we're on the 1 hour time frame, and we can clearly see that there's a trend line that can be drawn across these points like this. Also consider a bit of a W actually. Notice this, you can draw a trend line across these 3 points like this, and it almost perfectly coincides with a W. At this point, there was no W pattern on the H4 time frame, but we do have a W pattern here. But the W pattern is just considerably poorly formed. And I think we can draw a trend line, but it only crosses. It only crosses 2 points, but by the time it touches a 3rd point, anyways. So what should we be expecting? Price will continue on a downtrend unless price forms a W with the right leg higher than the left leg, and then a trend line. Let's drop this a little bit. Let's match this like this, and then something like this. So